Okay, so we're back again for another edit session. We're going to pick up where I left off yesterday. Yesterday, what I did was I got all the footage organized into folders, and I had to reach out to the client to find out that there were two scenes that I didn't recognize. I wasn't sure what they were. They were for a standalone sample scene for two of the actors. So they won't be included in the master edit for the program called monologue scenes. I'll edit all those together into one long, you know, short film with an opening and a closing in credits. So the other two will be standalone pieces, and I'll upload those to Vimeo. I use Vimeo to deliver files to the client and individual actors. So let's get back to it. I'm going to go over here and get started right away. I have better lighting today. As you can see, I'm shooting down in my little edit corner here, and I repositioned the light and looks a lot better. So let's go back over here. So I'm going to position myself first. Then I'm going to go here and open up Premiere down here, Premiere Pro. Been editing with Premiere Pro for many, many years. I worked with the first release of Premiere. I think I mentioned that before. And then I went to Final Cut Pro. And then when Final Cut Pro abandoned Pro video editors, I went back to Premiere. And I've been happy ever since. So I've been with Premiere, what was it, almost 15 years now? I can't remember when Final Cut Pro made that big move where they stopped really supporting professional editors. But anyway, let's see. So we're going to open up, where is it here? Monologue Diaries. That's the name of the project. While that's opening, I'm going to take a quick peek up here at my email. Thought I had a message, some junk mail. So I'm going to go back down here and let's see. So the first thing I'm going to do, we're going to start a project sequence. We're going to open up the sequence and we're going to call that Monologue Diaries. And I'm going to label that. Usually what I do is when I start a rough cut, I label it O1 so that as I go forward, I can back it up. And depending upon how long the project is, sometimes I back up halfway through, maybe 3/4 way through. I'm going to delete some of these audio tracks because I'm not going to need all of those right now. And I'm going to even delete this additional video track. So I'm just going to leave 2 audio tracks and 2 video tracks. Usually that's what I start out with. So let's get started. The great thing about this project is that the individual characters, I don't think they have any specific order they need to be in. So it makes it easier for me. So again, just to let you know, this is a really simplistic one, which is good for what I'm doing right now, just starting these with you guys. What I think I might do, something weird I was thinking of, let's see if I can do it. I'm going to grab the camera, old school, and bring you over here with me. Let's see if I can get a shot of my screen without too much glare and without me in the way too much. Let's see. I lean back a lot, so that should work. I have a lot of glare there, which I don't like. Oh, I can move this. Oh, it's not glaring on here. Let me reposition the light. Hold on for a moment. Let's see. I'm going to move a camera here. I might actually like this because then I don't have to worry about getting all fancy with, so that might have taken the glare off the monitor. Let's see. Nope, it's still coming from somewhere. Oh, it's the sun. I have a curtain here. Let's see. Yeah, that was it. What I'm going to do, I might have to get myself a little, still peeking out. Sun's pretty strong. Where's it coming from? Sorry about this. I should have handled this situation before I started recording. But, oh, what I can do too, let's see if I can pivot the monitor slightly. That might help. Let me see, now put myself in position. I still don't like that. I'm still getting, yeah, it's coming from there. I'm still getting sun from somewhere. Oh, that's not bad. So it's down here somewhere. Let's see. So these are the kind of little issues that drive you crazy. Let's see, maybe I can pivot the monitor a little bit more. Turn it back later. No, that's making it worse. Oh, there we go. Okay. So I'll just pivot it like that for now. And let's see. Let me make sure I'm nice and sharp as I can be. Zoom in a little bit here. We're going to focus. Okay, great. Pull back out. All right, so let's get started a little bit. So here I have 3 clips of the actor. One is just the slate. Oh, no, one is the slate, but it's actually the wide shot. And then medium shot, and then some cut-ins. So these are all just monologues. The actors come, they have their scenes ready to go. And what I normally do too is I check to modify the audio channels. So I'm going to go here. Oh, so this is these must be 4K, I think. So I'm going to make them stereo. I'm going to make this stereo, and sometimes I take a little quick guess, and I'm guessing that the audio is all on channel 1 and 2. Sometimes people split their audio, which is a good idea. So we'll take a little peek at it. Let's see what we have here. We're going to go back to the beginning of this clip. We're going to play it a little bit. So normally this gives me an idea of what I'm working with. And that actually doesn't look half bad.
Well, my mom's sick, and she lives at home with me because we don't really have too much money.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is, usually when I start, I'm so familiar with this footage, not this footage, but doing these projects, I can see he started off pretty strong. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay down some of his wide shot, and I'm going to put that into the timeline. At first, the was so believable, I thought it was, I thought he had forgot his dialogue. Well, he did say, "I'm sorry."
Well, my mom's sick.
So I'm going to take that out. I don't think that's part of it. You know what? I'm not sure, but I'm just to be on the safe side, I'm going to take that out. Or what I can do, what I think I'll do, I'll go back. I don't think I was sent the scripts this time, so sometimes that makes it difficult. So what I'm going to do is go back and look at the close-up and see if he starts that the same way. Oh, it is. Okay, so good. I see that. Give me 1 second. Let me check this message. All right, so let's get back to our project. So yes, what I did was, since I don't have the script, I sometimes go to the next cuts or the next takes and see if I have a question about something, to see how it starts. So he seemed to be following the script. So what I do is I go pretty close to action, because what I like to do is give the actor some time to get into the scene. So I put these here, and now what I'm going to do, I'm going to get rid of, I don't know if you can see this. Oh yeah, you can. Down here, there's 2 audio tracks that the camera can record 4 audio tracks, but there was no signal going into those. So I'm just going to erase those, and I'm going to block these tracks so that as I'm editing, it won't keep jumping down to those tracks. So yes, you can see this was a 4K. And I normally, even when I get 4K content, my computer is fast enough to handle the 4K content, because I'm just making straight cuts. and I can do my color correcting when necessary. So I'm going to go ahead and make this, scale this down to scale to frame size. And now to put them down where it belongs. So I'm going to look at this very first cut, and that's what I do. I just go cut by cut.
Where do I start? Well, my mom's sick, and she lives at home with me because we don't really have too much money. We don't really have any money. I got a brother, but he took off years ago, so we don't really hear from him. So I'm the one that takes care of her, and how do I explain this? Look, I love my mom.
So that was a nice spot to cut. I liked how he moved forward. I liked that pause he took. So again, when I'm editing these for the actors, what I'm doing is I'm looking at their performance, and I'm also looking at their pacing and their comfortability in the scene. So I want them to look comfortable. I want them to look natural. I want them to look relaxed. So now I established the shot with the wide shot. So what I'm going to do is go forward and go into his medium shot, because most of the time the medium shot or the close-up, whatever they shoot, is what I use most of, because the casting people can see his face and see his reactions better.
Years ago, so we didn't really hear from him.
So now I'm going to go back and try to find a spot where I'm going to stop.
I got a brother, but he took off years ago. So
I think that's nice. He took off years ago. So I'm going to go back here, match this. Again, looking for a performance.
I'm the one that takes care of her, and I got a brother, but he took off years ago, so we didn't really hear from him.
Now let's see where I am here. We don't really hear from him.
He took off years ago, so we didn't really hear from him. So I'm the one that takes care of her. We didn't really hear from him.
So I like that. We don't really hear from him. Now I'm going to see how I can match that to the wide shot.
We didn't really hear from him.
Good.
So
Sorry.
I got a brother, but he took off years ago, so we didn't really hear from him.
So good. And what I'm looking for here, you'll notice that on the next shot I'm about to come to, which is the medium shot, his hands will be out of frame. So that won't be a concern for me when I cut to that. This hand could have went down. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my end point. And again, I'm going to probably take this all the way to the end with this shot, because this shot is nicer. So I'm going to just paste this whole shot in, and then I'm going to take a look at it.
I'm sick, and she lives at home with me because we don't really have too much money. We don't really have any money. I got a brother, but he took off years ago, so we didn't really hear from him. So I'm the one that takes care of her.
See, that was flawless. And from doing this so much, like I said, from doing this so much, I'm constantly looking at their movements, how their delivery, their demeanor, and I follow that to decide how I'm going to, give them the best piece. So let's look at that again.
Lives at home with me because we don't really have too much money. We don't really have any money. I got a brother, but he took off years ago, so we didn't really hear from him. So I'm the one that takes care of her, and I'll explain this. Look, I love my mom, right? I do, but I can't stand the woman. Like, all she does is bitch and complain, and yet, like, sometimes she's in pain, yes, but sometimes I swear she is just bitching to bitch. And I take care of her 24/7, all right? Like, I have no life. She is my life. And, like, I tried to go on a date once.
Now, see, normally what I do, he's doing a really good job. And the wide shot was good, but usually what Joshua does and what I do when we do demo scenes for actors, we start with a wide shot. Even if we don't plan to use much of it, we start with the wide shot, and that gives them a chance to really get warmed up. Obviously, we let them rehearse before they get there, before we shoot, so they can feel comfortable. But they're rehearsing on their own while we're making the last stages of setup. So we let them rehearse. Then, hopefully, and also they've come prepared. They've come completely off book, and they're relaxed. They know the lines. They're confident, and so I normally go with the medium shot or a close up if we have it. That is the third time they're doing it on camera. So usually, the more they do it, new actors, usually the more they do it, they get better. Sometimes you'll have an actor who will do the first take best, and then will get progressively worse. But this actor seems to have doing really well on his medium shot, and that's going to be the most footage I'm going to use in his cut, in his scene.
To take care of her, and 10 minutes into the date, this lady calls me and says that she can't be treated this way, and she's leaving, and yada, yada, yada. So, needless to say, I haven't been with a woman in years. Like, it's insane. Like, yes, she's my mom, all right? But you have no idea how crazy this makes you. It's just every 20 minutes, get me this, get me that. Call my doctor, make me food. I need to go to the bathroom, change my bedding. I mean, just, it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. Like, and I don't sleep at night. She's up every hour wanting something, or she's crying nonstop, or she pisses in her bed if I forget to give her a diaper, and then it's 4 in the fucking morning, and I'm changing her piss-soaked sheets, and yes, I feel bad for her, okay? But I just get so pissed off, and then I start screaming, and drinking's the only thing that gets me through it. Ugh. So yeah.
So what I'm going to do, I saw he did really good on this part right here with the medium shot. So what I'm going to do is go back and look at his wide shot, and I usually like to close out on the wide shot if I can, if they did a good job. So let's take a look at the ending of his wide shot.
So yeah, sucks, but that's where we're at right now. Sucks, but that's where we're at right now.
See what I'm looking at here? I wish he had to close his mouth because I was going to go back to the wide shot. Let's see what he did here. Oh, that might work. Well, I don't know. Let's check what he does on the close-up. Good. He closed his mouth. Now I should be able to match this.
Sucks, but that's where we're at right now.
No, I couldn't match it because he brought his hand up in the wide shot. So I'm just going to let it end here because he did a good job. And let's play it out. Well, he looked up. I didn't like that because it looked like he was waiting for the director to tell him to cut. So what we'll do is we'll give him a little bit of
That's where we're at right now.
before he looks up. Let him relax a little. No, see when he looks up, it looks like he's looking for help or answers. So we're not going to do that. We're just going to go.
So yeah, sucks, but that's where we're at right now.
So after that breath, we're going to cut. So we're going to cut this scene here. Another thing that he does in these monologue scenes, which is good, we look for spots, like simple cut-ins to break away from the monologue, where we look at to see how they're holding their hands.
Sure.
See something like that, good. It might be nice where he's rubbing his hands together. So what I do is I go back and I look for a spot where actually he's rubbing his hands together, or his hands are out of frame and you can't tell what he's doing. So I'm going to increase the size of this, and I'm going to go back, just look at some of it to see where I could stick in. And I usually do it at the beginning of the scene somewhere.
We don't really hear from him.
So that's good right there. Let it go. Oh, so let me see when he puts his hands back out of frame again.
I'll explain this.
Right there might be nice. He could be rubbing his hands right there. So I usually let it go for about, let's see what he does with his hands. That might be too long. Maybe when he starts to take them apart like that, that's kind of nice. That's like 3 seconds. So I'm going to grab just the video only, put that there. Then I'm going to scale it to frame size. Again, this is shot in 4K, and I usually edit these in HD because there's no need to. It looks great, and we're putting it on YouTube. That's where it's going to only live anyway. So we're putting those on YouTube. So let's take a look at this little sequence. Let's take a look at the whole sequence. I won't watch the whole clip again, but let's go. Start from the top.
Well, my mom's sick, and she lives at home with me because we don't really have too much money. We don't really have any money. I got a brother, but he took off years ago, so we don't really hear from him. So I'm the one that takes care of her, and I'll explain this. Look, I love my mom, alright? I do, but
Perfect. I love it. So that makes it natural. What I like about these monologue scenes when Joshua does these cut-ins is that it makes it feel more like it's from a bigger piece. It could be from a short film. It's well shot, good image coloring. I'm going to do some basic color correcting on it, but it looks really good. So and then we let it go to the end. So normally what I do, we let it go to the end where he stops.
sucks, but that's where we're at right now.
And that breath was a nice stopping point. So what I do in between each one so that the actors can, cut their piece out, I put a little bit of black. So I'm going to grab some black, and that's going to be my stock image, 1920 by 1080. And I'm going to probably put about, let's do that real quick. I'm probably going to put about just like, give them something to edit, maybe 2 seconds, a quick 2 seconds to black between each one. Because again, this will be one long piece, but the purpose of it is so that the actors can see themselves in a short little film, and then they can cut their pieces out and put it on their reel. And they use those reels to try to attract agents or try to, show to casting directors or filmmakers. Let me turn this a little bit this way. Okay, give it a little bit more space. Yeah, but that's looking good. Actually, I kind of like this. So we put the black there. What we're going to do, I'm going to put a little bit of black in the beginning because I'm not going to go through this with you guys, but I'm going to create some kind of opening for this, some kind of motion graphic opening, and give it a little bit of, something to draw them in when they look at it. Makes it seem more interesting. So let's go back. Let's go to the next person. So what I do as I go along, and this helps me know what kind of progress I'm making. So I'm going to create a folder, and I'm going to call that folder, done. And once I'm done with a segment, with a piece, I take that, and this was Ben, correct? Yeah. Sometimes I forget their names. Ben, yeah, it was Ben. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take Ben's folder. I'm going to put Ben's folder in the done file. And so Ben is done. I'm going to go on to the next one now, which is, I didn't have her name, but I named her black shirt, woman in a black shirt. So yes, this looks like it's her. And the good thing is when I see these, and it's just 2 clips, more than likely she did it straight through very well. And he only did 1 take, which is sometimes he'll do, it doesn't look like he has a wide shot. It looks like he uses close up. So let me modify the audio channels like I did before. As you'll notice here, I'm going to make them stereo. And then I'm going to say, I usually guess that the cameraman usually uses the right and left audio channels. Sometimes I make a mistake, and so I'll have to go back and modify it again. So what we're going to do here, we're going to go back to her clip right here, and we're going to load it in. And I'm going to go back to the beginning, and I'm going to listen to some of it.
I thought maybe when my grandmother died last year it was just because there wasn't that connection, like we weren't close enough. But when my dad died last month,
Oh, okay. So I just found out something. This, this
Tears.
is one of the standalone scenes I was telling you about. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move on. I'm going to move on to the standalone scenes. I think I'll do those first. So she is in. She is in. Where did I have that other standalone scene? Now I can't remember. This is. I'm going to mark it. And again, those standalone scenes are separate from the monologue movie. So that was one standalone scene with her, and then I'll just leave it marked for now. I'll move on to the next person. What I do is I cut the either standalone scenes at the beginning, or if there's a whole bunch of actors, I'll just take myself a little break and I'll cut some of the standalone scenes if there are any. But I'll just go ahead and stick with the monologue stuff for right now. So let's see. We're going to go on to the next person, which is Claire. Now that might be her. No, that's not her. Okay. So, okay. I'm going to make this big enough so I can see it. Now you see the same thing. I don't see any cut-ins on this one. Maybe they didn't need it, but I see a wide shot and a close-up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to modify the audio like I did on the last one. I'm going to modify the audio channels. I'm going to make it stereo. And then I'm going to move to the input number 1. Put everything on input number 1, right and left. And so now I'm going to, and usually it has autosave, but I don't rely on that. I save whenever I think about it. Let me clean off this email real quick. Nothing here. Let's delete that. Okay. Let me refresh my YouTube studio. I'm getting obsessed with monitoring my progress. I'm closing in on 500 subscribers, so that's very interesting to me, and I keep my eye on it. So let's go back to the beginning of her. Okay, let's listen to some of it. See if I can zoom in a little bit.
What's wrong? Everyone keeps asking that. And I say I'm okay. I'm fine. But no, I'm not. I'm not okay. And I don't know how to make things okay. I don't care anymore about anything.
So sometimes I keep going because sometimes they may stop and start over again. So that's really, when you're doing these simple scenes like this for students, that's what you have to do. You have to watch the footage because they may stop, they may restart.
I can't
And you always want to use the best take.
enjoy life. I can't be happy. I don't know how to make my brain stop. I just want everything to end. I can't stand it.
So I'm going to move forward a little bit because I kind of get the feeling she might do another take. Let's see if I see any signs that they stopped and started over again. It's a very long monologue. Let's see what he said at the end.
From yourself.
Okay, so I can get a feel for, I know the director Joshua, so I can get a feel for what he's feeling when I hear how he says it at the end cut, if he gives any kind of compliment or wants them to do it again. So let's start over again. We're going to use some of this. We're not going to use much of this. I'm just going to start out with this, and then she does it again, and the close up. We'll use that. So I'm going to start right after action. Yeah, take it about here. I'm going to paste that in. Then I'm going to adjust the size. Again, we're shooting scale to frame. Scale that down. And let's see how it transitions from the last one to this one.
So yeah,
See if I need to extend the black a bit.
sucks, but that's where we're at right now.
That was nice.
What's wrong? Everyone keeps asking that.
And I will go back later and, adjust the audio levels.
But no, I'm not. I'm not okay. And I don't know how to make things okay.
So that was nice. I'm going to end there with her taking that breath. Now I'm going to go, hit the wrong button. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to get this shot, which is, it's a tighter shot. And I'm going to find out where I can start to match it up.
Anyone. I don't know how to fix it. I can't enjoy life. I can't be happy.
Okay, I went too far. Let's see.
I don't care anymore about anything. Anyone.
Let's go back. I went a bit too far.
And I don't know how to make things okay.
Okay, so I think that's where I left off. Let's take a look at where I left off. I don't know how to make things okay.
I don't know how to make things okay.
That was nice. That breath was nice. And you look at things like the mouth placement, where the eyes are looking, the body language, pretty close, not completely right on, but I think it's going to work great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set an end point and I'm going to plug this in right behind there. And let's take a look at it. Let's change the size. So let's scale the frame down to HD. Okay, and I just save as I go along. So let's take a look at that transition that I just did.
I'm not okay. And I don't know how to make things okay. I don't care anymore
Good, that was nice.
about anything.
Now we're just going to let this play out and see if she makes any mistakes. So yeah, I have to watch the whole thing to see if she flubs a sign, word, or anything, and I have to fix it
I
somehow.
don't know how to fix it. I can't enjoy life. I can't be happy. I don't know how to stop my mind.
This is something I can do too, which I do sometimes. I'm going to, since it's 4K, the beauty of 4K is that I can cut right here if I want, and I can punch it in. And that's what I'm going to do to let her get a little bit more emotional impact. So I go over here to edit control, select the scene, go to motion, and I can punch in. And the quality doesn't suffer at all. Actually, it looks pretty good. And I'll position her a little bit off to the left, like that. So let's take a look, quick peek at that.
Know how to stop my mind. I just want everything to end.
Like it. Very nice.
I can't stand it. I feel alone even when I'm with people. I feel so alone and scared and like no one really understands me and no one accepts me. I think about ending it all. I do, but I won't. Don't worry. I couldn't do that to my parents. I
I need to find something, a reason to wake up, a reason to smile, a reason to keep going. Every day, it's harder and harder. But some days,
I'm going to pause it for one quick second.
it's just
Let's see. Give me a second.
feel
So what I'm going to do, I'm still having a little bit of issues with my my light peeking through. I have some old school tacks. I'm gonna stick one in this curtain over here and block that sun that keeps trying to sneak in and hit my monitor. I can't see it, but I'm sure there it is right there. And I'm hopefully. Oh, I think that worked. So just one of these little old school tacks worked. I'll put this over here. Yeah, I think I got the right spot. All right, so let's finish up with our scene. Here we go.
I feel like I can breathe. It literally feels like oxygen. For those moments, for that moment, I feel like everything is gonna be okay. Like everything will be alright. But then my mind takes over.
So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to stop it. I think I'm going to jump back out.
But then
Because we're getting to the end. So I'm going to cut the video right here. And then I'm going to scale it back out. Nope, not that far. You got to make a clean transition. So yeah, I'm just going to scale it out some. Didn't realize how far it went in, but I'm going to scale it back out to here. That's kind of nice. We can see our hand movements. Let's take a look at that.
be alright. But then
Good.
my mind takes over.
Still has good headroom. We can see our hand a little bit here.
And tells me it's not gonna be okay. And I believe it. How do you save yourself from yourself?
Okay, so that was good. I'm going to
Self.
give her a little bit at the end before he says cut. I like that with the eyes down. So I'm going to stop right there. And I'm going to unlock my audio channels so that I can clean up this ending. And I cleaned up that ending. Looks nice. So what I'm going to do is give that a little bit of black screen and stick that down there. I think I'm getting some more sun sneaking in from somewhere. It's really getting on my nerves here because it keeps hitting the monitor. What I might do next time is put some black wrap. You guys are getting it a little bit out there. Let's see if I can turn this monitor again. Move it back a little. That made it worse. Let's see. think I'm making it worse. Let's see. Nah, guess that's okay. All right, so what I'm going to do is put a little bit of black in between that clip. So we're going to put a little bit of black in there. Boom, there we go. So I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so I can see it, and you should be able to see it a little bit better too. I'm not that happy with this, with the sun situation, but I'm not going to worry about it. That's why I need to eventually, if I continue to do these, get the software so that I can do the traditional screen captures and show you why I'm working on it. So anyway, what I'm going to do next, go to the next person. So, I forgot to put, let's see, I'm going to close these ones. Ben is done. I think I put him away. And her name was Claire. I'm going to close her. So I'm going to close this one because I'm going to work on that some other day. So that was Claire. She's done. I put her in the done file. Now I'm going to open up someone. His name is Danny. I see he has 3 clips here. So let's modify the audio first. That's the first thing I'm going to do. Modify audio channels. And again, okay. See, this might have been shot with a different camera. So because this camera only has, no, it's the same thing. It has 4 tracks available. So I'm going to make all those tracks stereo. And channel 3 and channel 4 were blank. So what we're going to do is bring the icons up. We'll bring this in. Okay, so we see, okay, he has a wide shot, medium shot, and then he has a cut in, which most likely will be the hands, just like the other gentleman. So what we're going to do is, again, start with him. We're going to go to the beginning, and we're going to listen to it. And that's what we do. I mean, I go through this whole process with each actor. And again, try to look for the best performance. Performance is what's key. If I have choices that I can use, I use better ones. If I have stuff that I have to cover up, sometimes someone might mess up on the close-up, and I'll have to go back to the wide shot earlier. But it all depends. And that's where, like I said, you as the editor, you're trying to make the actor look as good as possible. Once I get it, that's what the duty is. So let's see how he does. He might be a little bit nervous. So we're going to watch this first bit of this tape.
Look at you, all grown up. You're that same little girl who still flinches from all those years ago. The one who thought hiding behind her stuffed animals and keeping people out. You know what I remember? You didn't scream. You just went dead quiet. Like someone flipped a switch. I've seen that before, a few times. That's the look of a child who just realized the people in the outside world are as cruel as the monsters in her classroom.
So that might be a good part for me to stop. It looks like this scene wasn't that long, but anyway, I'm going to use that first part. It was pretty solid. I need to get away. I need to get to his close-up so that hopefully his performance was better on the close-up, and we'll use most of the close-up in the scene. So let's plug this in, and we're going to change the scale of frame size down from 4K to regular HD, and I'm going to go and get his medium shot, and I'm going to see where I can cut into that.
The one who thought hiding behind her stuffed animals was going to keep the evil out.
Yeah, see, he was much better. So we're going to cut to the close up much sooner.
Look at you, all grown up. You're that same little girl who still flinches from all those years ago. The one who thought hiding behind your stuffed animals keep the evil out.
So that was good. Now we're going to match it up with this because I think he did much better in his medium shot.
You still flinch like that same little girl I met years ago. The one who thought hiding behind your stuffed animals was going to keep the evil out.
So what I'm going to do, even though you'll notice after he said keep the evil out, he kept his mouth open here, but he closed it here. But the good thing is they shot some cut-ins. So I'm going to stick this whole piece here because there's a lot of content in this medium shot. There might be a false start or a restart somewhere. So I'm just going to plug the whole thing in for now. And then I'm going to go back to the cut point. Well, first I have to resize the scale to frame, resize the video down to HD, boom. And now I'm going to, before I even look at it, I'm going to go back, I'm going to grab one of these hand movements. So I'm going to look at and see what he did. Wait till the camera's stable.
And then I did point after.
Camera's still moving.
Point from that.
See, something like that might be good. Let's go back a little bit. So what I'm looking for is, see that? Now you see it's stable. Nice, a nice solid frame where he's not moving for a moment. And then I would let it roll for maybe 3 seconds. Boom. I kind of like that. This one near the end probably better, where he's going to let his hands go. That, yeah, just see something subtle. It doesn't have to be a big movement. Sometimes when it's too big, it looks too phony. So that might work perfectly. So what I do is I grab that, just that video clip, and I slide it right where I made the cut. Whoops. Oh, there it goes. Did it go there? Oh, yeah. And so what I'm going to do is go in and scale that frame size down to HD, scale to frame size, boom. Now let's take a look at it. The great thing about this, it's going to give the scene a little bit of variety, but it's also gives me a spot to, when he did his delivery, his mouth was different between the two takes. And so I'm able to cover that. So let's take a look at it.
One who thought hiding behind her stuffed animals keep the evil out. I've seen that look before.
Perfect.
That's the look of a child that just realized the people in the outside world are as cruel as the monsters in their closet.
Okay, so you drew a blank. I could tell that it was coming. So what I'm going to do is take this little clip that I use. I'm going to park it up here for a moment, and we're going to find out where he started again, and then we'll match that up. That's what happens. So that's why you have to watch the footage, because when they have these false starts, they might forget their dialogue, and you have to go up and fix that.
You gonna be saying action? Look at you.
So you start at the top again.
You're that same little girl I met all those years ago.
And then I need to remind myself where he left off. Let's see.
The one who thought hiding behind her stuffed animals keep the evil out.
Keep the evil, hiding behind stuffed animals, keep the evil out. Let's see.
You gonna be saying action? Look at you. All grown up. You're that same little girl I met all those years ago. The one who still flinches. The one who was hiding behind her stuffed animals thinking she could keep the evil out.
Okay, so good. And see, close his mouth that time, which is good. But I'm still going to cover it up. So I'm going to go all the way back. I'm going to set the out point there. I'm going to go back here, go in just a little bit, set the end point. Then I'm going to cut that out. And then I'm going to take this little hand movement and put it right back. Whoops, where'd I go? I'm going to take this little hand movement and put it right where the cut is. And let's see how that plays for us.
The one who thought animals and keep the evil out. You know what I remember about you?
That was perfect.
You didn't scream. You went dead quiet. Like someone flipped a switch. I've seen that before. It's like a child that realizes the people in the outside world are as cruel as the ones in your closet. Your mom, she thanked me that night. She cried. You know what she told me? God sent me. God sent me. It really stuck with me. I've done a lot of evil things since then. A lot worse. But that night, I know it's gonna stay with me forever. Because of you. You did everything right. You didn't talk. You didn't fight. You just went quiet. Oh,
So what I'm going to do is do a cut in here too to bring it a little bit closer to his face like I did on the previous one.
fight.
Right there where he says you didn't fight. So I'm going to cut. I'm going to lock the audio tracks because I just want to cut the video. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to punch in a little. So I'm going to go up here to effects control and I'm going to zoom in a little. It's kind of a nice shot, still looks good. Give him a little bit of headroom. I might even cut off a little bit of his head. Let's see. No, bring it down. That's too close. Let's see. So we're going to reposition this shot. Okay, that looks good. Let's see how that looks. Let's see how it plays.
You did everything right. You didn't talk. You didn't fight. You just went quiet.
Good.
Oh. I realized that's silence. That's a gift. You gave me medals, accommodations. They called me the queen. They sent me to places no one else could stomach. You'd be amazed at how quiet people become when they realize no one's coming to save them. And the thing they need saving from most wears a badge. You told someone this time. I was brave. It's stupid.
Okay, so
You thought the system.
he seems to have messed up a little bit there. So let's see if I'm going to go forward and see if he started over again. Let's see. Okay, so he had messed up a bit there. So I'm going to cover it with some of his hand movements, if I can.
The system was going to hear you, see you. There is no system.
Let's see if I can find it again.
Where's a badge?
See, right there, he's struggling for his lines. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut some of that out, and then I'm going to put another cut in to his hands.
Where's a badge?
So right there, I'm going to set a little mark, and I'm going to let it play. See, he's struggling.
You told
Oh, so right before he speaks, I'm going to take out that part where he was struggling for his lines. And like I said, this is going to make him look better.
you told
But I keep missing it. I'm going to get a little bit closer. I try to get right to the edge. So I can move back slowly like this. Right there. So I'm going to cut out all of that. It's going to make the biggest difference for his delivery. The delivery was a little slow. He maybe needed be a little bit more off book. But I'm going to get some of this right here where his hands are moving again. Let's see how this looks. Nope, that the camera's moving. That's too much. Let's go back to the beginning and see what he has. That might be good if the camera doesn't move. Let's see. Good. Let's see what that is. Let's try it. It might be a bit too much, but I think it might be all I have to work with. So let's scale that little cut in to frame. Good. So let's take a look at it.
Come to save them. And the thing they need saving from the most, where's a badge? You told someone this time.
Perfect.
That was brave.
So see what that did was it took out the part where he was struggling for his dialogue and it added a little bit more to the scene.
There is no system. There's just people like me. No, I'm not gonna kill you. That would be mercy. I want you to wake up every morning and wonder if you're gonna see me today. Not in the flesh, but a face and a voice, maybe a shadow that lingers a little too long. The monster in your closet, he didn't die. He walked out. He gave your mama a big hug, flashed his badge and a big grin, and just kept on walking. No, you don't get justice. You get me.
And so that was good. We're going to end that right there. And what we're going to do is we're going to put a little bit of black before we go on to the, so his name is Danny. We're going to put his folder in the done category. And then we're going to grab a little bit of black and we're going to stick that in between. Again, what the black does is just divides the scenes so the actors have a cut point where they can cut their scenes out, because ultimately this is just going to be all chopped up so they can use it on their reel. Then going to close his tab and we're going to move back to the next one, which is D. So we're going to open her up. Let's go ahead and modify the audio first. The audio channels, again, we're going to make it stereo. I'm going to assume that he recorded everything on with the mic using mic input 1. A lot of times cameras have mic input 1, mic input 2, and the 3 and 4 are for the built-in mic. And a lot of times, which is good, the camera person turns off the built-in mic and just records on either channel 1 or channel 2. I tend to always leave the built-in mic on because I use it as a reference when I sync sound. Like right now, we're doing this shoot for you guys, and I have on a Zoom F2, and I'm wearing that so I get better audio because I turn my head back and forth. And I'm recording the audio here on the camera as a reference. And also it's a backup because if something goes wrong with my Zoom and I don't know it, at least I'll still have audio and I won't have to throw away the whole video I'm shooting for you guys right now. Okay, so we have another young woman right here, and we're going to, looks like she has a medium shot, a wide shot from waist up, and then it looks like she has a medium, and then she has a cut in again to her hands. So we're going to use all that content. So we're going to start again right at the beginning. We're going to start with the top of her, and we're going to play it. Her name is D, and we're going to play it, and then we're going to see where we're going to start on this wider shot. I always start, obviously I start with the widest shot, and then I go to the medium and the close up. Sometimes though, I get a little bit creative, and I'll start with an extreme shot with their hands moving or something like that. But I usually do that somewhere in the middle.
You? All right, can you take a deep breath for me, please? Do not look into that camera. Just look over to that where that corner is. Understand that you deserve to be treated well. And when you're ready, action.
4,379. Do you hear that? 4,000.
Sounds like she started off strong, so I think I'm going to go with that. Let's try it again.
300.
Okay, so I'm going to start with her. And I usually go about, I go longer. I lay in more content on the wide shot than I'm going to use, but I just lay it in so I have it there. So now we're going to see how that transition from the last gentleman to her goes. Oh, I forgot to adjust the size of the image. Forgot to adjust scale down from 4K to HD. Let's take a little look again. Here we go.
You don't get justice.
$4,379.
And see, I heard something. I mentioned it yesterday that I always try to cut out when somebody hears somebody do a little lip smack. I just don't. It's irritant to me. Okay, here we go. I heard it right there, so I'm going to cut that out. Just makes it cleaner because and it saves me time in sound sweetening when I do it because I can take it out then. But I just like to take it out whenever I hear it.
4,000.
See, cleaner, better.
379. Do you hear that? 4,379. Do you have any idea what that number is? Any idea? That is the number of dinners I have prepared.
Okay, so what we're going to do, for me and for the performance, I think her pause was a little bit too long there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move to the closer shot.
Any idea what that number is?
So that was a nice clean spot. So I'm going to stop there. Then I'm going to go back. I'm going to get her close up. Do you have any idea what that number is?
That is the actual number. 9. Do you know what that number means? That is the actual number.
Well, she moved her arm up. I can cover that.
Do you know what that number means?
So I might come out of it sooner. So let's see what she said before this.
179.
So I'll match this up. 79. Oh, sorry.
9.
So that's going to be where I'm going to start. So let's see if I can find it on here.
Any idea?
Here we go.
Any idea what that number is? And 79.
Okay, good. Her head is a little bit different, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to paste that in. We're going to scale the size back down, scale the frame size down. Okay, so what I'm going to do is this is the first occurrence, I'm going to use her hand cutaways to cover that. Let's see what she does with her hands.
Oh, do what?
Like that. It's a slight movement. It'll work for a real quick one. She's just moving her hands. All right, so let's see. We're going to take that and we're going to put that right at the cut point. And then I'm going to scale this down, the hand movements, to fit the frame size. And so now let's take a quick look at it. Save it here. Let's take a quick look at it.
179. Do you know what that number means? That is the actual.
The thing I didn't like was she moved that arm up, and she didn't do it in the other one. But the hand movement kind of distracts from it. So it works. It's not the best, but there's nothing I can do about it unless I go back to I stay on the wide shot longer. But the reason I left the wide shot is because I thought her performance, that pause was a little bit long. She might have been searching for the next line. And so I have to take that out because my primary job is to try to make them look the best as possible. No one's really going to notice the little awkward arm thing. I'm noticing it because I'm looking at everything.
And 79. Do you know what that number means?
So it works.
That is the actual number of dinners I have prepared for you since we've been married. I counted. I counted. Because last night, as I was preparing your dinner, I realized I can't take this shit anymore. This is not a life. This is a horrible job. And I can't take it anymore. Get you up.
Give me that line
Get-
again. This is a job. This is a hard job.
Okay, so Joshua noticed that she messed up too. So she's going to start with, let's see where she starts.
This is a job.
Oh, this is a job. So what we want to do is find that again.
This is a job. This is a horrible job.
Yeah, that's much better. So we're going to fix that. So we're going to pause there. That's going to be the out point. Now I'm going to go back here and find out where she said it the first time.
Anymore. This is not a life. This is a job.
Okay. So this is not a life.
Anymore. This is not a life.
So I'm going to, right there, I'm going to pause. And then I'm going to take out that spot in between there, patch that together. Let's extract that. Boom. And let's listen to it real quick. It's going to have a jump cut, but I'm going to cover that jump cut.
This is not a life. This is a job.
Okay, so you saw the jump cut. So what I'm going to do is grab some of the insert and cover that jump cut. So let's find something. Let's scroll through this and find something. Okay, something she did different with her hands, which might be interesting. That might be nice, where she moves them out here. Yeah, that might be nice. So let's start with them already in motion if I can. Nah. Maybe I'll start there. Let her hands move. That's nice. Let's see how long that was. That's about a second, a little over a second. So that might work. Let's make it a little bit more. Okay, that's good. That will be about a second and a half. So I'm going to grab that, and I'm going to use that to cover the little awkward jump cut that we put in because we had to cover her performance. So we're going to go down here, and we're going to move to scale to frame, and let's take a look at that and see how that worked out. Here we go.
I can't take this shit anymore. This is not a life. This is a job. This is a horrible job.
Good.
I can't take it anymore. I get you up. I get up for work. Get you ready. Prepare the laundry. Do the dishes. Do the vacuuming. Clean this house. Get your dinner ready. And then clean up after you. This isn't a life. I want a life. I want a life. I'm not trying to be a bitch, but enough is enough. I want a life. Listen, I thought about some ways that I could kill you. It's not a figure of speech. It's actually ways I thought about killing you. And I thought about, I could stab you in your sleep. I can actually hit you in your head with a hammer, with a bat, or maybe even a frying pan. Hey, what do you think about that? Those are pretty solid, huh? So I'm thinking, why don't you take me out to dinner tonight? Why don't you make my life a little more interesting? Maybe some fun. What do you think about that? I would love that. I would appreciate that. I really will kill you. I have given this a lot of thought. So, what do you think about making maybe some dinner reservations?
So I'm going to end right there. I'm going to put my mark. I think he's going to say cut in a moment.
There we go.
So see, I can tell, like I said, I know him well. So I can tell when he likes the performance or he knows that was a good performance from this actor or actress. So what we're going to do here, we're probably like 12 minutes in. Obviously, I'm not going to go through everything with you guys. I think we should have a running point. Let me back up a little bit. Do my old school movement of the camera back here. I kind of like this. Let's see, I'm gonna move back so you can see me a little. Okay, great. So yes, that's the process for these monologue scenes. And again, these monologue scenes are for actors who are new. They're just getting started. This is probably one of the first things that they've done in a professional or classroom setting. And it's a great opportunity because they can see their performance. They can, evaluate what could I have done better? What should I have done? What did I do wrong? And most of it is they don't get prepared enough. I always tell people, I'm gonna talk a little bit about acting now. I know this is more about our editing session, but one thing the new actor needs to understand is that to be believable, to be credible, you have to know the dialogue just like I'm talking to you right now. Like these words are coming out of your mouth for the very first time. It's not rehearsed. It needs to appear that they're talking and they're saying these words and they're thinking of these words while they're saying them. Just like you do in real life. If you're talking to your boss or you're talking to your wife or you're talking to your kids, you don't have a prepared speech that you're saying and trying to remember the words. You're saying and filtering yourself as you're saying it. So that's the believability level that they need to achieve. There are a lot of techniques, the method, there's all kinds of acting methods and skill and ways to get you to that point. But the bottom line is that you need to deliver that dialogue as if you're saying it for the very first time. So when they look at themselves and they have to make a really critical judgment, did I study enough? Was I prepared? Was I relaxed? And it comes with practice. It doesn't just come out of nowhere. Children, though, fortunately, some of the best child actors and actresses, it's just to me as an actor, and living this long and acting this long, it's just amazing sometimes when you see great child actors because they don't have any of the baggage that we adult actors have. They don't have any of the judgments that we put on ourselves, or any of the skills and techniques that we learn from our acting teachers in our acting schools. They learn the lines and they say the lines. And they let their real feelings come out, filtered by how the character is supposed to speak. It's just that simple. And when you see good child actors, they don't have extensive training. They don't have, years of practice. They don't have years of films behind them. But when you see the really great ones, it's amazing. And that's what we as adult actors, that's what some of the greatest actors that we like can do. They deliver that dialogue like if it's just coming right out for the very first time. And so hopefully the actors on these scenes that I cut together for them, they'll look at it, they'll pass it to people they, respect their opinion. And not just to family and friends, because the only family and friends are just going to say, oh, that was great, that was good. You need to take critique from actors that you respect. If you have some actors that are more talented and you're an actor and you get a chance to do scenes like these, let them look at it and tell me the honest truth. What do you think I could have done to make it better? And most of the time, it's being completely off book. So you're not worrying about what words are coming next. You're thinking about being natural. You're just speaking. You're reacting to what the other person. If you're just doing a monologue like this, you have to imagine what the other person just said to you at the beginning. And that's relatively simple. You decide what mood you want to be. The monologue usually has something written in it that gives you directions, or the director will give you directions. Make it more dramatic, make it more calm, make it more whatever. But once you decide on the delivery style, you got to get off book first. You have to be off book. You have to be confident that you can say these words without thinking about them. Because once you start thinking about the words, as you saw in some of these clips that we've done today, they aren't acting anymore. They're searching for what am I supposed to say next? What was it? And then all acting goes away. And also too, once you know the words, then you can add stuff. You can slow down at some points and think about what you want to say next. You can speed up like this. You know, when I get excited about something, I speed up. Or you can be more thoughtful, and you can ponder for a moment what your next word will be. But you're not looking for it because you know what the lines are. You're off book. So I'm going to talk about that. We're going to do some series of videos on maybe getting off book. I have a nice little bookshelf over here with all my old acting books, and I'm going to start doing a series of videos. And what we're going to do is talk about the book. We're going to focus on one book at a time, because now that the internet has taken over everything, books are, starting to fall out of favor. And we as actors, there's a lifetime of books that have been written about the process of acting and becoming better, and tips and tricks and things that you should know as an actor, even if you don't use them all. So I'm going to talk about some of my favorite books. I might start that next week, start one, and see how it goes. Even this little 2-part series here, I'm going to see if it gets any views. And I'm going to be testing out things like this on the channel. I'm coming up with so many ideas. They're not getting a lot of views because this isn't a topic that's really searched for, that much on YouTube. But this, the acting, directing, and editing, this is a topic that I know. And so this is the information that I can give away. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm still trying to get my channel, up there where it needs to be monetized. And I appreciate you, subscribing and telling anybody who's interested that you may know about this stuff, and share my link. I'm giving this information away, and some of it may be useful. Take what you can and toss the rest. But I will see you in the next one. Thank you.